For anyone who's new, this is Tea and Tarot. Welcome. Every 2 weeks, I go to the Oracle cards to find out about what's happening for the next 2 weeks, to tune into the energies of what's to come. If you ever miss one of these, you can always find the replay on Instagram, and I also post them through my website, circleoflightwellness.com, under the Tea and Tarot page. I upload them to YouTube so that you can access even the ones way back when we began, when COVID started in April. Some of them are still relevant. So even though I am looking at this 2 weeks block of time, some of the messages that come through are still applicable later on. And oftentimes too, if you set the intention, when I begin this morning, if you have a burning question of your own or something that you're really struggling in, you need help with, set that intention and I will pick up on that. And you might find that sometimes I'll pick up a card and I'll be talking about it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like she's in my head and reading my mind. And that's kind of the magic of how this happens. So welcome to those who've joined us. We're going to jump in. And so if you haven't already, grab a tea or coffee or something to drink. And I was just sharing with the first ladies that joined that I've got Yoda this morning, hoping for some infinite wisdom or the force, because we need both. So welcome. I didn't have the wisdom to have any kind of like dairy alternative to put in my coffee, though. I don't like drinking it black. I don't know why. It's so hardcore. So I used hot chocolate powder because I was like, I can't do it. Anyways, that was probably too much information, but we're going to start off with the mermaids. The water is calling this morning. I don't know if any of you are water signs, but I'm Cancer sign, and that last full moon we had, I loved it. Sometimes the full moon really knocks me down and takes me a few days to recover, but that last full moon I really, really loved. So I hope that you all enjoyed the energy of it. I probably ended up doing too many things, but it felt good. So we're going to the mermaids because they were calling to us. Communication. I think this card came up for us before. It's interesting when cards come up more than once. It means that, it doesn't mean that we didn't learn or figure out what we were supposed to be doing. When a card comes up again, it means that it's like highlighted, emphasized, spirit saying, we're still in the energy of this. We're still working these things out. So communication has come to the surface here, quite literally. And communication, and also the mermaid cards are very watery. And for me, water represents emotions. So this is about communicating your emotions with others and allowing the feeling to come through of what you're trying to say and actually feel like you've been heard and understood. And that's probably the hardest thing with communication, is the miscommunication, because sometimes someone's trying to express something to us and we don't always receive it in the way that it's meant to be received, and that can cause a lot of frustration for the other person. And we've also been on the other side of that, where we're trying to communicate something with someone. It's really important. It's close to our heart. It's connected to our emotions, and they don't receive it in the way that we meant it. I think that these things are probably the most heartbreaking things about communication. So this card is coming up because Spirit's saying to us, it's like, don't go to that place of frustration right away, okay? Because that might be, you're like, they just don't understand me again. And just try a different way, try a different approach. So if you're speaking to the person you're communicating with, or to the group you're communicating with, and you feel like it's missing or it's just not getting through, try writing. Okay, it could even be writing a letter to someone you live with. And I've done this in the past with my ex-partner, even my kids, where we've written to one another when communication has broken down. And that can be a really beautiful alternate. Or also introducing activity. I found when my boys were teens, they weren't always open to talking about their emotions and what was going on with them. But if we went for a hike or a walk in the woods or something, or even if I was driving the car, they would be talking behind me. So sometimes not having that face-to-face communication can actually allow people to be more open with what they're saying. So sometimes introducing movement, like going for a walk with someone. I don't know if you've ever found like going for a walk with one of your good friends. You think, oh, we're going for a walk and we're getting exercise, but really by the end of it, you feel like you had a 1-hour therapy session, because you each take turns just talking about life stuff. And you really listen because your body's busy moving. So this communication card is asking us to get creative with our communication. So if you find the ways that you're using aren't working, Keep trying, but just try a slightly different approach. Try something new. And I feel like that there will be success with that, because communication really is important, especially now. It's easy for things to go awry. And I had this happen recently in my life where I sent some texts, people didn't get them. It caused a lot of hurt feelings because my phone is crazy. And so if you don't hear back from someone, if you've emailed them or texted them and you haven't heard back from them, don't go to that place of, oh, they don't like me or they're mad at me or they're ignoring me. Try not to go there first. Like, actually have the conversation with that person and say, listen, are you ignoring me? Are you okay? You know, maybe there's a reason they fell off the face of the earth. Like, don't assume the worst, okay? So communication is being highlighted for the next couple weeks, finding different creative ways to connect with our loved ones. So let's go to these cards. The Work Your Light cards are jumping out at me. Now, for those of you who don't have an oracle card deck or have never worked with an oracle card deck, or sometimes people are a little nervous about it, they're like, ooh, I don't know, do I need to, like take a 3-year course before I touch an oracle card deck? No, you can go buy one tomorrow and play around with it. They come with books that tell you what the cards mean. You can use that to get started, but really it's just a tool we use to connect to spirit. So for some of us, I'm really lucky. I'm wired that I can sit and just connect directly. I don't need these cards. But this is a great way to start connecting to spirit, just like journaling is another way, or meditation, or getting in nature. So this is a wonderful tool to use, and setting the intention that you're connecting to that wisdom or that information for your highest and best good before playing with your cards. As you've noticed, I like to fan mine out and just pick the one that lights up, but you can shuffle them, you can squish them all around your floor, lots of different ways. I am going to be teaching an oracle card reading class probably February. I know a couple of you have been patiently waiting. I'm sorry. I have so many things in the pipe right now. I'm doing shamanic healing starts tonight, or shamanic journeying starts tonight, and then yoga and a ton of other things. So it's coming. It's coming. Okay. Where I'll teach you kind of my way of doing it, if you want to learn that. Okay, so this is a card of reflection and mirroring. And sometimes the reflection or the image of ourselves, or what we see in the mirror, it is just a reflection. It isn't the actual truth. So this card is asking us to look a bit deeper, not taking things at face value. Okay, going a bit deeper, going under the surface, not jumping to conclusions, not making assumptions. So it does tie in a little bit to what I was talking about before, like always ask questions, dig a little deeper. But this isn't just about with situations outside of you. This is about you. This is about looking at you, and not just looking at yourself in the mirror like you're a body and a face. I mean, we all do that, right? That is us. This is our container, but looking a bit beyond that, like, who are you on a soul level? You know, what are some of the gifts and talents that you have that maybe you haven't even tapped into yet? Or maybe what are some of the gifts and talents that you have that you think are just, you don't even think of them because you just think they're naturally part of you, but another person looking at you would point that out and say, wow, this is amazing that you can do that. And you're like, oh yeah, everybody can do that. But that's not true. So this card is about recognizing what's unique about you, what's different, what some of your gifts are, maybe the things you've just taken for granted. So for the next couple weeks, just kind of excavate yourself a little bit, not in a deep psychological way, but just in a way like, what are some things that I'm good at that I just assume aren't that big of a deal, but other people really struggle with? Maybe there's a way for you to use that, use some of those skills and gifts to help other people, or even help yourself in a different way. But this mirror card is about looking a bit deeper. And this can also happen too in situations where information's coming to you. Instead of just taking it at face value, do a little bit of research, dig a little bit deeper. So if you have big decisions coming up or big life changes coming up, like a move or a relationship change or job change or something really, kind of life altering, look a little deeper, do your due diligence, do your research, make sure that you go from all angles just to make sure that you have everything laid out in front of you. All right? Awesome. Overall, I want to say I feel really good about 2021, but I mean, after the year we had, and I know it's been a struggle and we're in another lockdown in my area, but I don't know, guys, I don't think I'm an internal optimist, but I try to look at things this way. Everything happens for a reason. I really, really, really believe that. And I feel like when things aren't going well, I'm a big believer in like taking the lemons and making lemonade, because there's an opportunity in every difficulty. So wherever you're being stressed right now, or wherever you're being challenged right now, you're being asked to look at that and make some changes or make some alterations or change how you do things. It's not always comfortable. Me doing this with you guys right now, this was never gonna happen. I hate the video stuff. I like only did it because of COVID, and I felt like a crazy person. I had a trailer in my driveway. I'm like, let's do this. And now it's turned into a thing, right? And now I'm doing more online courses, and I really hate the video, but I've had to get over myself and just do it. So a lot of you have been squeezed in uncomfortable ways too. And some of you really love this tea and tarot. So if COVID hadn't happened, it wouldn't be happening. So you just don't know what's going to happen from some of the crappy things in our lives, you know? I mean, I was really sick in my 20s, almost could have died. And that totally shifted my perspective and got me more into the holistic road than I was on before. So you just got to make that lemonade. So find your lemons, embrace them, and say, okay, what am I learning in this experience, or what is the point of this? Because there is a point. We just don't always see it in the moment when things are terrible. So I know it's tough out there. I know it hasn't been easy, but I really want you guys to dig deep and go into warrior mode and find out how you can meet the challenges in your life, like with that energy and enthusiasm. Like, you're going to survive this. Whatever it is you're struggling with, you'll be stronger when you come out the other side. There is a gift in every experience, especially the bad ones. There just is. Okay, well, this looks like a happy card. So it actually, the words in it, pleasure and divine goddess. It looks like these people are dancing and high-fiving each other in the background. There's flowers. It's like, woohoo, party time. Maybe we'll be able to gather and like actually hug each other again. How wonderful would that be? I really miss the hugs more than anything. So this is a card about pleasure, enjoyment. So finding that enjoyment. Right now, you know, I'm in Hamilton area. We're on a lockdown. A lot of stuff's closed, but I think we're getting kind of used to it, and we're finding other ways to entertain ourselves. I mean, I got dressed up for New Year's. It was like not really going out to a huge party or anything, but why not, right? Like finding that pleasure in the little things, making yourself happy. Even in the day-to-day tasks, like doing things that make you feel happy, like having a bath. You can just have a regular bath, or you can go when you're grocery shopping, get some fresh flowers and just throw fresh flowers in your bath. Like, make it an experience. You know, you can't get out to the spa, but like have a spa day at home. You know, you can't get together with your girlfriends, have like a virtual summit where you're just all chatting and having wine and chatting like you would if you met in real life. Like, we have to get creative here. We have to find different ways of enjoying our life. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and they're like, well, don't you find this so detached, like teaching online and doing all this stuff, you're not actually seeing people in person? And I was like, you know what, surprisingly, I still feel like I'm able to connect with people in the way that I would if they were across from me in the room, and which is really nice, because if it wasn't for this format, I think we'd all be going crazy, like if we couldn't connect in any way. But technology, I mean, pros and cons, but this is better than nothing. So I'm embracing it and going with it and trying to find happiness and pleasure in it. So this card is about really finding out what makes you happy and doing more of that. And it is okay to do more of that. Okay, it's not like if you're too happy all the time that's a problem in the world. You know what I mean? If you're too happy all the time, you're just going to be like leaking out happiness and making other people happy around you. Unless they're cranky already, in which case you'll just make them more cranky if you're too happy. Cranky people don't like that, but do what you gotta do. Oh man, I'm actually on the decaf. I've taken myself off coffee again. I kind of slid back on it over the holidays. So we've got Romance Angels, but I was building an online store. I'm still building it. It's almost done though, but it was a lot of late coffee-induced evenings. Okay, Romance Angels. I don't know if this deck wanted to be here tonight. So some of you are looking for love. Oh, don't you hate it when you get this one? It's worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life, which really just means wait and trust that the angels are bringing your person. But yes, that's what it means. I'm sorry for those who are impatient. It's better to wait and have the right person arrive in your life than to get impatient and date the wrong person or end up with the wrong person and then go on a whole circus of 5 to 10 to a million years with that person and come out the other side all broken and messy. So just do you right now for the single people. Trust your gut. And when this card comes up, when guides and angels are saying, you know, wait, we've got this, when you meet your person, you will know something weird. There will be something weird about the timing of how you meet, or you'll just know, like you'll know this is my person. Like you'll have a very strong feeling about it. It's not a wishy-washy feeling. So for those of you who are asking questions about your love life, like, is this the right person? If you keep asking yourself that question and more than a year has gone on and you're still questioning, is this the right person for me? I'd say your answer is probably no. Because usually when you're with that person, there's going to be questions, but not all the time. You're not always going to be continually questioning the relationship. So that's a sign. Might not be the right one. All right, Return of the Spirit cards. These are our fractal cards, which are super cool. If you get a deck of these, you can pick from just looking at the images on this side or the back side. I don't like to peek, so I'm going from this side. And always, too, feel free to, send me a little note in the chat if there's a particular deck that you want me to draw from. There's a bit of a delay on it, but I do keep an eye on it. Good, I love this one. Frequency shift. Okay. And to me, it looks like a seed. You know, when a plant starts coming out of the seed and the branches start coming out and the roots, that new growth. So we're going into a new frequency. The world is going into a new frequency. That's why it's chaotic right now. You know, there's a lot of information out there. You can go down the dark tunnel of where the world is ending and space aliens are going to come and murder us all, or you can go, down another tunnel of where, we're all going to become AI or whatever. You could be like, oh no, we're going into a utopian future. There's so many different angles you can go down with what's happening in the world right now. I really think it's going to be a positive shift in the end, so I'm holding on to that. I welcome you to all join me in that, and I don't mean that in an ignorant way, like my head is in the sand. I am aware of what's going on, but I do believe there is power in us, in what we feel and what we think and how we operate in the world. So I always feel like coming from a place of that love and respect for other people and yourself is a great place to start, and to also be hopeful and optimistic. But I was a girl guide. So we prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So do whatever you need to do to get your house in order, because, with this whole economic situation, working, not working, being in the world, not being in the world, some of us have had to really alter our course and how we do things. And it hasn't always been a bad thing. A lot of families have probably realized they don't need 2 cars, or maybe they're okay with one person being at home. And a lot of people have realized they really like it when their kids go to school. I can't imagine, you guys, I feel for the parents out there. My guys are all older in college and university. If they're home with me right now, I'd lose my mind. So you're all warriors if you have survived that. If you have kids that have been home while you're working from home, I applaud you. You are warriors. Okay, Starseed Oracle requested by Liz. They are beautiful cards. I have a lot of newer decks now because some of my old decks are out of print. And when I started doing this, I thought, oh, this is horrible because these people can't, you guys can't find the decks, right? So I brought a bunch of new decks in, and I actually do sell them now. If you check the bio on my Instagram, I have my online shopping cart live now. It's still a bit gnarly, so it needs some new pictures and descriptions and things, but you can actually buy stuff from it if you're local and do porch pickup. I will add shipping soon. I'm slowly working away on it with other things, but I do have a bunch of card decks for sale too because people were asking me for them. So if you're looking for a particular deck. Okay, so this is about creating our reality and painting it. Like when I say painting, and I mean just like a painter does a painting and puts colors and items and things and creates that from their imagination. This is literally how we're creating our reality all of the time. Our thoughts are going out into that quantum soup of creation and coming back to us in the form of experiences. all of them, okay? But it's happening unconsciously. We're doing it unconsciously all the time. So even if you just catch yourself for a couple moments in the day, throw some good stuff out there, you're making a change. Because a lot of our thoughts are unconscious and they're happening all the time. And things don't immediately manifest because all of us have terrible thoughts throughout the day. You know, we would all be dead if all of our thoughts became manifest straight away. But what you do think about all of the time dramatically impacts your reality, because it also affects your attitude about things too, your thoughts. So that is really the place to start. And by understanding that we have more creative control in our reality than we think. Like we might not feel we can change the whole landscape. Maybe we feel like our lives have happened to us and, it's set. But we can alter other little things. So in your life right now, if you're feeling stuck, because this is a tough one for people, and believe me, I have been there too, where you're stuck. Sometimes you're stuck in a job or relationship or your kids, and you don't have a lot of freedom or a lot of leeway or a lot of room in your life. You can start introducing some little things that you can control, that you are able to add in or subtract out. And start there. Start with the little things first. And as you do that, it will build momentum. And then you'll have the energy to start to address the larger things. Pardon me. But it's important to have something in your life that you're excited about. Even if it's something small. We need that right now. We need that right now more than ever. And for those of you who love to travel and aren't able to travel, planning a trip, whether you actually put money on it or just plan it for that when you can travel, this is the trip I'm going on. Like, we need to have things to look forward to in the future. We do, so that we arrive there. Our mind loves to imagine things. It just does. It's like, it's its favorite pastime is to imagine things and wonder about things. So this card asking us to create our canvas of life or build it is asking us to think about what we want. So when your mind starts going into a negative zone, it really just wants to think about something. So you could let it go in that negative mindset for a couple hours, a couple days, a couple weeks, or you can pull it out of that and say, listen, that might be true, but it hasn't happened yet. So instead, let's add this to the scene and start changing the scenery, start changing that image, and start putting some things in there that you would like to experience. And it can be really simple, easy things, or it can be totally outrageous. It doesn't matter. But I encourage you to start the practice of doing that, because it's really magical when you do that. And then you start to see these things begin to manifest in your life. It can actually be shocking sometimes how fast it happens and how amazing it works. So the energy is there right now out there for creation. And so use that energy. Here comes Merlin. So use that energy. I have to watch my cat. He likes to chew on my cards. He's a little monkey. Okay, so let's go into the Spirit Animal Oracle. This is a beautiful deck by Colette Baron Reed. I love this deck. I've had animal card decks in the past and they've been great, but I've never really loved them like I do this deck. And I think because this is a bigger deck and she really pays tribute to so many animals, because sometimes you can have an animal deck and certain animals are missing. And I know we can't like have all of them in the world, but still, it's nice to have a good variety. I like variety, as you can tell by my 50 million decks of cards I have. If someone said to me I only was allowed to have one oracle deck, I'd probably have a temper tantrum. Okay, here we go. Badger Spirit. Be fearless and bold. Okay, so Badger obviously is dressed up a little bit ridiculous in this picture. I kind of think this card's about letting your freak flag fly. Like, be yourself. Be your crazy, crazy self, okay? Just let it go. That's funny, Yvonne, I just saw that you wanted the Spirit Animal cards now in the chat, and I think I was pulling them literally at the same time you were messaging me, so see how that works? But Badger Spirit, yeah, guys, your unique you, the you that makes you even a bit weird to other people, is your superpower, okay? So go out there and just let it emanate out of you. Don't be afraid to be, your weird self. I do this too sometimes. I struggle with this. I'm a total weirdo goof. Like, I, try not to be too weird on the Tian Tarot, because some of you are going to be like, oh. But, this is us, okay? So put your crazy music on, dance with your cat and your kids. Do all those crazy weird things you want to do. Dress up in your Halloween costume when you go to the grocery store. Why not, right? But this is about being fearless and bold. This is about being fearless and bold, about being yourself. Don't dim your light down to make other people comfortable. Please don't do that. Okay, don't do that. We do that too much. We really do that too much. Be yourself. And it's funny, when I go to Peru, I take groups to Peru all the time, and one of the guides I use, he's always saying that, just be yourself. Be yourself. It's like his mantra, and it's so true. Just be yourself. You are enough. You're okay the way that you are right now. You're perfect. Just be yourself. Don't hide yourself. Don't change yourself. Just be out there with it. The people that love you are going to stay in your life. The ones that you drive absolutely crazy and they can't stand you, they'll go away. And guess what? Life will get easier. Seriously. It reminds me of, if any of you have read the 5 Agreements or the 4 Agreements with Miguel Ruiz. It's an excellent book. He talks about, I just want to share the story because I think it's perfect to describe what I'm talking about here. So he talks about that, you're standing in the center of a circle and you're doing this dance. And there are people standing around you watching your dance. And some people love the way you're dancing and they're like, we want more of that. And other people are like, oh, we don't like that. And so you notice the people that don't like your dance and you start to change it to make them happy. And they're happy now. They're like, yeah, we like the new dance. But the people behind you are like, no, what are you doing? Like, we like the old dance. The point is, you can't please everyone. There are going to be people that don't like you, even if you've done nothing to offend them. They're just not going to like you. They're not going to like your face. They're not going to like your voice. You're just going to drive them absolutely batshit crazy for no reason. So the point is, be true to yourself. Do what you love. Be you. The people who really don't like you and aren't helpful and are, sabotaging you or undermining you or whatever, they'll go away. They'll go back to somebody else. And the people that love you will stick around. That sounds way better. It's way easier. So try not to worry too much about the people that don't appreciate your unique spirit. Like Badger was kind of like, I'm out there with my crazy self. Do that, okay? Because that's also your superpower. Talking a lot about superpowers this morning. I probably should have had the Wonder Woman mug. Okay, Universal Love Oracle, one of my all-time favorites. Sometimes we just have those decks that are just going to be, favorites for life. So let's pick this one. I'm going to do this like I'm looking at the reflection here to pick it this time. Ooh, moon tree. Okay. So I don't know if anybody else is affected by the planets. This is the moon tree card. I definitely am, especially the moon. And I notice that more and more people are as well, even if you weren't in the past. So I think it's a really great idea for those of you starting a new book in January. Sometimes people start new journals or they get new planners or they just start this practice of writing things down. Track your energy every day. Have a symbol that you can put in your calendar or your book that shows if your energy is on the high side. Have another symbol or word or something to show if it's on the low side. And then have something for it's just regular. And just do this over the next 2 or 3 months and then go through it and you'll see a pattern, you'll see a fluctuation. And it might be in alignment with the moon cycle. It might be in alignment with some other cycle. But you'll notice a pattern. And this will help you plan your life better because then going forward, you can plan those high energy, stressful things you need to do in the section of your life where you know your energy's high. And then when it dips, you can use that time to replenish, recharge, do the quieter things. Because sometimes when we have a lot of energy, we commit to things and we plan things. And then when we go to implement them, it's when we're in a dip. So we're not all like this with our energy, but if you find you are, you're really going to love that exercise. For those of you who are even keel all the time, I celebrate you. I've never been that way. But doing that and knowing what your cycle is magical. It's life-changing. And it takes 2 seconds a day to do that. Just even put it on your calendar hanging on the wall. You could have an arrow for up, an arrow for down, and just a line for it's normal. But definitely try that because it's very enlightening, the information that comes. And then you can start to map your life. But the moon cycle does affect us. Sometimes it affects some of us more than others. But when you learn that, you can use the energies of that, of the moon, the new moon, the full moon, the quarter moons. There's all kinds of things. I'm really into making plant medicines and, you know, elixirs, things like that, bath body care products, all that kind of stuff. And I love to use the moon cycles for when I'm creating things and charging them up. And so, you know, there's lots of wonderful information out there about that kind of stuff if you're into that kind of stuff, but it really does affect us. So, okay, so I'm going to go to the Light Seers Tarot next. Let's do this card here. It's probably my favorite tarot deck still right now. I go through phases, but I just really like this one. Okay, Eight of Swords. Okay, so this card is about, it's funny because it's almost like a mirrored reflection. Like there she is free on the one side, but feeling trapped on the other side. Blindfolded, hands tied, stuck, but really not stuck. So this card's about perception and reality. It's about the feeling of being trapped even when we're not trapped. And we might feel like other people are stopping us or preventing us from doing things. And it might actually seem that way in our reality, but if you look deep enough, you'll realize that it's you stopping yourself, using other people, places, things, times, or events as excuses as to why you're staying stuck. I know that's harsh, but it's true. So if you feel stuck in your life and you can't do anything about it, what do? This is where you clean your space up. Okay, so for those of you who have ever, I don't know, heard of Marie Kondo or the art of decluttering or all that stuff, this is the perfect time of year to do it too. Coming into the new year, clear your clutter, clear your junk from last year. As you do it physically, you will do it energetically. You will start to feel movement in your life again. So if you feel incredibly stuck and you can't do anything and your energy's low and you're just dragging and you're suffering from depression, or you're just like, you know, you're just really low, clean out a junk drawer, clean out a closet, start with something small, work your way up to something bigger, smudge your place, clear the energy, put some music on, put some upbeat music on. Do whatever it needs to do to shift the energy of your space. Your space is you. You are your space. Have you ever gone into someone's home or space and it's like weird? It feels like that person. So if you're going through depression or something really heavy or an illness, it affects the energy of your space. So if you can keep the energy of your space in alignment and high vibe as much as you can, it's going to help you heal faster. It's going to support you. Your space should be like your cocoon, your nest. And if you share it with other people, it's a little complicated because everybody's energy is all merging around and bumping around like a soup. So do whatever you can to shift the energy of your physical space if you feel stuck in life, because that will help get things moving. Okay, once you get that energy back, then you'll be able to address some of the mental emotional stuff, some of the physical stuff that you need to. But don't try to climb the mountain in a single day if you don't have the energy. It's okay to baby step your way through things. That's still movement forward. And it's okay to have days where you're not doing anything or even going backwards. That's okay too. But this card is coming up to show that some of us are feeling trapped, and it's not that we're really trapped. It's an illusion of being trapped. And it's also could be from not having the energy. It's hard to make choices in your life that you need to make when your energy's low. It just is, okay? When your energy is at least on the level, you'll have more clarity. You just will. So the easiest, free, like it doesn't cost you any money, clean your room, clean your house, clean a junk drawer, get rid of some stuff. I know you can't take it to the donation centers right now, but bag it, put it in your garage, put it in your attic, put it in a closet, but get it, like start letting stuff go. If you're the type of person that's really attached to your stuff, it's like, oh, it's got memories and this and that. I understand that. But if you have a space where you can't keep all those things, find a way to keep the memory of it. Photograph the item. You know, maybe have a special scrapbook of all your favorite toys that you had as a child, but then you let the toys go. Like find a way to keep the energy of the beautiful things without having to keep all the beautiful things. Okay, it's hard. I mean, when I downsized, I had to get rid of 90% of my belongings. And if you look back there, you can see like I did not get rid of any of my crystals. No way in hell are those going anywhere. So I got rid of pretty much everything else. So there you go. you know? You can hoard things, but only one or two categories of things, not all the things, or you'll be having no room for yourself. But okay, so just do that. 2021, fresh energy, fresh space, new you. Clean up a room, but don't get overwhelmed. A bathroom is a great place to start because you just have that little cupboard under your sink maybe, or a couple things around your bathtub. Get yourself some nice new soap, freshen up your bathroom. And then just spend a lot of time having baths in there. You'll love the energy so much it will give you momentum to start addressing the rest of your house. Don't take on a big room or a big closet. You'll just get like so overwhelmed. You'll end up like curling up in a ball in your clothes that you pulled out of your closet and having a cry. Don't do that, okay? Start small so that you can have success. So this card that's coming up is about our body, and this is a really interesting one. Oh, guys, I've been feeling this, okay? So body, show me divine, how to love and fully care for this body. Please give me the radiant miracle of accepting my body as it is. I haven't been doing this. Full disclosure. I've been like kind of angry at my body lately because, and it's not his fault. I haven't been moving it enough because of everything that's happened in the world. I've gotten off my yoga practice. I've gained a lot of weight. Like I just feel like my body and I are like lately, and I'm trying to get back to loving it. And it really is a miraculous thing. It does so many things for us throughout the day. Like if we stop to think of all the things our body does, like even just breathing, our brain firing, we couldn't track all those things. It's working 24/7. It doesn't get paid. It has a person, me, saying mean things to it all day long. Can you imagine if you went to work in a factory, you weren't given a break, you weren't paid, and your boss was a total ass? You would leave after 5 minutes. But my body doesn't. It still goes. So we have to think about our body and all the things it does do for us, not all of the ways that it fails us. Because if in truth, I have failed my body by not taking care of it and not honoring it and ignoring it and then getting mad at it when it doesn't, do the things I want it to do. Well, yeah, I've let it kind of get rusty. I stopped moving it. I put too much chocolate into it over the holidays. I mean, what can you do? So if you're where I am right now with your body, feeling at odds with it, let's all just collectively decide we're going to give ourselves a little bit of slack here and just love ourselves as we are, with our extra padding, with our wrinkles, with our saggy bits. When I was like 15 to 20, I was never happy with my body. And now when I think about that age, I'm like, God, I should have maxed it out where everything was where God wanted it to be. Now it's like totally downhill, but I'm more comfortable in it. It's like I don't care anymore. Well, it's not that bad, but you know what I'm saying, right? You get kind of more comfortable with it when you get older, but then the wallpaper starts sliding off the wall and you're like, what the hell happened? I'm swearing a lot today. Sorry, guys. Okay, so anyways, let's love our bodies collectively. I'm right there with you. I'm feeling it too. We're all feeling it. So let's be kind to one another. What I'm trying to do with mine is get some people together who can walk with me from a distance, just to kind of get into the routine of walking, because I feel like going with a friend, I'll put my shoes on and show up for a friend. I won't do it for myself sometimes, but so maybe there's someone in your bubble or people you can walk with or even connect with via Zoom and do workouts together just to motivate one another, because I do feel like we really do need that community and that support and one another to help us right now. I mean, we're all feeling isolated in our own way, so let's connect and, find a friend, find someone who can be your workout buddy or your walking buddy if you feel you need to move your body more. Okay, so we're going to one last card deck, and then I'll go to the angel cards to complete it. So this is from the Spellcasting Oracle, and I pulled the Courage card. And I feel like this is around our creativity. We're being asked to, it's like that Badger card, we're being asked to fearlessly be ourselves and put ourselves out there in a way that maybe we haven't done in the past. This card is asking us to courageously change and to maybe let your light shine a little bit more than you used to too, which is scary because it puts you out there for more judgment, which none of us like. But this card it's like, it's got the lion, and when the lion comes up, when those cats come up in a reading, it's all about using your voice. It's all about being out there. It's all about like, this is me, I'm king in the jungle, you know, like fearless. So we're being asked to show up in our lives in that way with courage and strength. And by doing this, this will help you find your center, but this will also help other people find their center too. Because when we operate in the world from our place of power, from our place of strength, and this isn't about intimidating anyone or putting our power on anyone else, this is just simply feeling free and courageous enough to be ourselves. We really do give other people permission to do that. You know, there's great quotes out there about that, but it's true. When you are secure enough to be in yourself and who you are, other people pick that up from you, and you, it's like you're giving them permission, or you're inspiring them to do that too. Okay? There are going to be people that you rub the wrong way. There will be people that will meet that energy and you'll make them feel maybe not good. But that's just because it's reflecting back to them how they need to maybe be doing this. Whenever you feel a little bit like off, I don't want to use the word jealous, maybe that's not the right word, but if somebody's doing something in life and you're happy for them, but at the same time you're like, that feeling is because you need to be doing stuff too. Maybe not the same stuff, but you're not doing your stuff. So think of it as those people as inspiration to you, because if they can do it, you can do it too. Don't see those people as reminding you that you're just not doing it. And, you know, there's proper timing with everything, but see those people as inspiration that you can get there too. Okay? Courage. So blazing your own trail, being your own unique person, and being fearless about it, not caring what anyone else thinks, which is easy to say, but harder to do. Some of us have an easier time of it than others. I have a friend who's Sagittarius, and I think overall doesn't give a crap what anyone else thinks, which is amazing. And I'm one of the more sensitive signs in the zodiac, where if someone looks at me the wrong way, I'll have a cry about it. So I'm learning to have thicker skin. Anyway, so I always end with these little cards here. I pick a silver wing card, a 2-circle card, which is the key, and a gold wing card. Oh, I picked the one that my cat ate. I don't know if you can see his little tooth marks on that. He's such a monkey. Okay, so the silver wing card, let your artistic ability manifest. I couldn't read it because he had chewed it. Sorry, you can see. Let your artistic ability manifest. So it doesn't mean that, you know, we all have to be artists, but let your creativity flow. And creativity can be used in so many different ways, even just making a different meal or just how you rearrange your closet. Like, just let that flow. Let that energy flow. And again, creativity again. This card is saying time for creativity and transformation. Okay, so I think we all need to kind of collectively like clear our spaces, move things around, get creative, maybe move your furniture around, change the items that are in your, you know, areas where you sit, like refresh it, create it. You know how we decorate for Christmas? And I still have my Christmas decorations up. I mean, some of us decorate for Christmas. I love doing that. Decorate for your New Year. Like rearrange your stuff, like set your space up so that it's energetically supportive of the year you're coming into. Like, do whatever you want. It's your space. Even if you live with other people, they'll roll with it. The key is August and meeting new people. Okay, God, I hope we don't have to wait till August before we can connect with people. For those of you who are looking for love, though, maybe Spirit's saying, okay, August, summer. Let's say summer. August seems like a long time for some of you to wait, but it's going to get better, everybody. Just hang in there. I swear to God, it's going to get better. I love you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for all of you who show up live every 2 weeks. It means so much to me. And if you hopped on late, you can always grab the replay. And definitely like check out my website and stuff that's going on. I teach classes all of the time. And for those of you who are looking at developing your intuition, I do a monthly meetup to help with that. This month is all about creating your 2021. So if you are feeling stuck and you want to kind of jumpstart that, then that's happening on, I think it's Friday the 15th. It's $25. It's 2 hours. Even if you miss it, I could send you the recording, but it's all about creating your 2021. We're not going to be victims in our 2021. We're going to blaze a trail here and lay our energy down so things go a little more our way. Sound good? All right, have a great rest of your day, everyone. Try and get outside. It looks relatively okay out there today. Okay, love you. See you soon. Bye.